Good.
We're ready? Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. Time is 3:47 p.m. I'd like to call the Board of Estimate and Contract meeting into order. Can you please do our roll call?
Thank
Clerk
you.
Bonilla?
Thank you. Comptroller Morton,
Here.
Acting Council President Thompson,
Here.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Here.
Under resolution approving ordinances, number one, Department of Public Safety and ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an addendum agreement with Passport Labs, Inc. for integrated parking enforcement and mobile payment services.
So move. Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Number two, Department of Public Works and ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into an emergency contract for the removal dead oak trees along McQuestion Parkway in the city of Mount Vernon.
So move. Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Three, assessor and ordinance amending ordinance number 12 adopted by the city council on June 25th, 2025, entitled an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a contract with Catalyst Enterprise CAMA for software services.
So move. Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Department of Public Works and ordinance amending ordinance number one adopted by the city council on June 28, 2025, entitled an ordinance amending ordinance number 7 adopted February 11, 2025, entitled and authorizing the selection of Woodard and Curran for the South Third and South Columbus Avenues Flood Mitigation Project under the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, HMGP, project number 46150004, DMV and also utilizing their services for the Bronxville Field Club cost estimate review.
So move. Second.
On the question?
This
Hearing,
is just a change in the budget.
yes, yes.
Change from operating to capital.
Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
5, Department of Public Works and ordinance authorizing a budget line transferred within the Department of Public Works for emergency tree removal, debris management, and site restoration along Equestrian Parkway.
So move.
Second.
On the question?
Just in the future, it probably should be the reversal on it. You gotta move the money before you get.
Yeah.
Hey,
Approve it.
okay.
Roll call.
Should have been 4, 5. Oh, got it. Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
6, Department of Public Works and ordinance authorizing the Director of Sustainability to enroll in the Green Project Manager Basic GPMB Certification Program and approving funding for associated costs.
So move.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
7, Department of Public Safety and ordinance authorizing 8 members of service of the Department of Public Safety to attend the interview and interrogation training course at the Westchester County Police Academy, December 1st through December 4th, 2025.
So move.
Second.
On the question?
So. We need 8 people to go. What's the,
Different divisions. That's what they've asked about this.
But they all have to know how to interview and interrogate.
Mhm.
So it's probably, they go in cycles.
Yeah, and it's also part of the certification that they need for DCJS.
I think that's like a general skill that's needed. It's not something special.
And then this is also, I believe most of the people who are attending this are people who are in detective training and transferring over to the detective division. As you know, a lot of these officers are very, very new, not young in age, but young in police service years. So this is all lawsuit preventative type good training. We will go back and look at it, but I did ask questions about this because I had the same question. I was like, 8 people? So,
Bless.
roll call.
Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
8, Department of Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing 4 members of service from the Department of Public Safety to attend the Female Enforcers Event Peak Performance, Force Readiness, and Personal Resilience Course.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
This is the same thing, huh? 4 people.
Yeah, I mean, because then they'll come back also and be a team. You know, we have a very high percentage, probably higher than most departments around here, of our police officers who are women. And we have not traditionally done women-specific training, right? And so having such a large number of our officers being females and not always the biggest in build, we do need to do specialized training to ensure that they can be safe on the streets and that they can keep the community safe additionally. You know, some people might say, well, why you have female officers? Well, because a lot of people aren't signing up to be police anymore. So we have to make sure that we can properly equip the ones that we do have so that they can be safe and the community is safe.
Okay.
All right. Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
9, Department of Public Safety, an ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds for contractual payments to Tyler Technologies.
So moved.
Second.
On the question,
So we're transferring funds. Did we not, did we not budget for this? Originally in the technology line?
well, I think some of this is in previous fiscal years. So in previous fiscal years, I do not think, and you've probably been involved in more of these conversations than I have, in previous fiscal years with us moving over to Tyler. And is this some of this old contract that just drug on forever also?
I thought we had him a wholesale. What is this?
There was some outstanding items that they didn't account for that came up this year in the conversion and some of the things to meet the DOJ recommendations that they didn't account for the amount that we set aside in ARPA for the funds.
So it's new features into the program?
New features and the training required.
A lot of,
Some of the features that they thought they already had, but it wasn't a part of the contract. And was in the report to DOJ that they needed.
Okay.
probably a little bit less than the $1 million it would have cost us for a DOJ monitor. This is kind of good in the long run. But yeah, these were things that were added in, and then the training. Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye, I just want to check, was that an aye or were you getting ready to say aye and stay? Just,
John, take it while you got it.
yeah, look, I just wanted to make sure, I want to be clear. I wanted to make sure there wasn't another question.
Number 10, Department of Public Safety and ordinance authorizing the transfer of funds to cover prisoner meal costs.
So moved.
Second.
On the question? Hearing none, roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
11, Real Estate Committee. Yep,
Can we
yeah.
take 11 through 17? One.
I
That's
second.
your motion?
Yeah. Mhm.
Roll call.
So this is to take items 11 through 17 as a block vote. Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
All right, 11, Real Estate Committee and ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned property located at 106 Hillside Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, to Jeanette Garcia. Number 12, Real Estate Committee and ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned property located at 224 North 7th Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York. 13, Real Estate Committee and ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned properties located at 234 East Fifth Street, Mount Vernon, New York. Number 14, Real Estate Committee and ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned property located at 328 South First Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York. 15, Real Estate Committee and ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned property located at 331 South Second Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York. 16, Real Estate Committee and ordinance authorizing the sale of city-owned property located at 467 East Fifth Street, Mount Vernon, New York. 17, Real Estate Committee and ordinance authorizing the mayor to convey city-owned property located at 16 Glen Avenue, Mount Vernon, New York, to Shane Black of SE Management NY LLC.
So moved.
Second.
On the question?
So let me take a little bit of time. So all of these properties that have been, that were part of an interim process that happened sometime prior to 2014. And had been in the city's inventory as foreclosed and properties that had belonged down to the city since that time. All of these properties at some point in time also was part of an auction process that also occurred in the bid to, by the city, up to including, I think, the last one, which would have been 2016. Upon my arrival as comptroller in 2022, we found all of these records and found them, some of them complete, some of them not. We have spent the past 3.75 of a year working on the files, reconciling the information, having conversation with individuals who at some point, I guess, had some level of interest in it, whether that is through that auction process, bidding process. Also looking through our own financial records to find out what are some of those things in which there have been deposits, some things where there have not been deposits, as well as then deciding on how to move forward as per the city charter. Which then allows us to again move forward because these all have been part of some previous processes, were part of the private bidding process. What the Real Estate Committee chose to do 2023 was then to list all of these properties as part of a public bidding process. In other words, for folks to be able to submit their bids in. We received a number of bids for each of these properties. Since that time, there's been some changes in the law in which we had to kind of wait and see what those regulations were, stemming from a decision that was made by the U.S. Supreme Court that then trickled down to the states. And we had to wait for the states to actually make some decisions as it pertains to how do we deal with it? Do these properties fall within that law or outside of that law? because we have actually expired them beforehand. Having said all of that, through all of that, we finally got to the place where we then started to look into titles. To try to see what the title situations were, recognizing that we may or may not be able to determine what those title situations were. We, based upon even consultation with, our council, to look at that and see how do we proceed forward. All of these bids, the bidders all understand and know that they are taking these bids as is, subject to them actually doing whatever they need to do as it pertains to the titles, on these properties, as well. We also did double backs to make sure that we got certifications. We stayed to the criteria that was outlined as it pertains to bidding, making sure that proof of funds to purchase the properties, so forth and so on. And so we are now at this place where this is the first phase of us actually, I guess, selling off or auctioning off the properties that have been in Florida City for over a decade, probably two. This is only the first phase of this, and then the next phase of it will probably be public auctions for the rest of those properties that we do have. So that has been the procedure. Has all been pretty publicly documented through our real estate committee process. As we move forward in this process. I just wanted to kind of put on record that has been how we proceeded with all of these properties, and the due process and public notices around them. So there you go.
I would just add, though the agenda on several of them does not say who the property was sold to on the agenda, the actual ordinance, the resolution has full information of the price and what was who is the actual purchaser.
Yes.
Totally altogether, it would be about $2.3 million.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, roll call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson House.
Aye. I just have to say, I'm happy to see all of the city's books and back into the rotation and back, in the hands where these properties can be developed, renovated,
And pay
maintained
taxes.
privately and not by the city. So, the city's definitely not in the business of,
Landlords.
being a landlord. So thank you and the real estate committee and the council for doing that work. Okay, next item.
18, Office of the City Clerk, an ordinance authorizing a budget line transfer within the Office of the City Clerk to cover additional annual membership.
So move.
Second,
On the question,
on the question, what annual dues is?
I got a deputy, so. Clerk Association dues. Westchester Clerk Association dues.
You said that like we don't know, that we didn't have.
When I did the budget, I didn't have a deputy. When I wasn't a deputy.
You phantom, what's up?
For one, so I was like.
remember, we cut every $500 here, $1,000, we didn't leave
So
any
to
meat on
have
the
our deputy get access to, these wonderful informationals, he needs to be a member. And one of the municipal finance, we didn't pay at all. And that's for the whole city.
And I just want to say that, New York Conference of Mayors and Municipal Officials, I know you and Ms. Joshua recently went to the training. I can tell you, I heard back from them that it was really, really great to see Mount Vernon finally back at the table. What people don't understand oftentimes, they say, well, the city doesn't have any money, why are you going to trainings? Well, sometimes the city loses money through lawsuits and improper practices because we don't have trainings. And so the monies that we do spend on the trainings, which are very carefully vetted, are very important, to make sure that we are in compliance with all state laws and municipal laws. Two, to make sure that we understand best practices and that we're updating our practices as need be to increase efficiency, transparency, and compliance with state laws and mandates. We've never been good in investing in capital repairs and in our people infrastructure, who run the city. And so, you get what you pay for after a while. And when you don't train people, and they make mistakes, you kind of have to look back into what we invested. But I have to say that the state, NICOM staff were very happy to see y'all there. And they had kind of even mentioned that the last time that they had really clerks from the city at those NICOM trainings went all the way back to Lisa Copeland.
Yes,
That's like 20 years ago.
yes.
So, as we've seen in quite a few of our departments, we haven't updated rules, laws, procedures, policies and procedures and things like that for 20 years because we haven't invested in anything while so many things across the state have changed. So I'm glad to see you guys there because I know we experienced the same thing in the mayor's office, police, fire, building department, and so many of our departments, you can't do what you're not trained to do.
It's definitely something we have to go to every year.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because the laws change.
It's not a party. So getting up and being in class at
It
8
was
o'clock in the
exhausting.
morning is exhausting. And the amount that you learn and all that you come back and you say, I have to
Like 5
update and
minute breaks in
change,
between classes.
trying to run to the other
Yes.
part of the building.
Yes.
Okay. Roll call.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
19, Department of Public Works, a resolution authorizing partial payment number 18 for sewer system rehabilitation phase 1 to National Water Main Cleaning Company, $60,940.56.
So move.
Second.
On the question. Condell. Controlling anymore, after you've been together for a while, you're more.
When he was out, we asked questions.
Yeah, when you were out, we had you covered. Condell, Grant, and is it reimbursable? Have the reimbursements been coming in a timely fashion so that it doesn't stretch our cash flow? Sir,
He's busy.
This is WQIP, turnaround for reimbursement is about 60 days.
okay, thank you.
I've been 11.
That's not even good. Look, when you're working together and you kind of know what people's pain points are and you respect that. And so even when you weren't here, sir, trust me, we still ask the questions. We ask the questions on record. All righty. And
Roll.
roll call, yeah.
Comptroller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
20, Department of Public Works, a resolution authorizing partial payment number 3 to New Vista Designs General Contractors LLC for emergency roof repairs at the police department and courts, $147,250.
So move.
Second.
On the question. Again, I know that we're gonna put something out more formally, but again, here we are catching up on 20 and 30 years of work. In the past few months, I know since the summer, we've replaced the roof on the Armory. Now we are replacing the roof on the courts and the police department. We replaced the roof on City Hall. And just a few years ago, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, they replaced the roof on DPW that had been leaking for 30 years. And I know fire department, trust, we haven't forgotten you guys. They're like, what the fire department? And I know we're getting ready to do a roof for the fire department with some CDBG monies. And so, we're dealing with legacy issues, even in the midst of major financial strain. being able to identify some old grant funds, some old bond funds, some ARPA money, some CDBG monies. And in partnership with our state electeds like Assemblyman Pretlow and Senator Jamal Bailey, you know, these projects are possible. We are planning for the renovation of the Armory. We are planning for the renovation of the Dole Center. We are planning to redo Fourth Street Park, Madison Park, Eddie Williams Park, also known as Cool Out Park. People are like, where's Eddie Williams Park? Right? And we're putting in a grant also for Brush Park, a major grant to like just totally reconfigure Brush Park and you know, bring it up to date and sustainability and all of those things. So on the question, anything else on the question? Roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye.
Right, moving on, settlements, 21, settlement of lawsuit for property damage, Myrna Power versus City of Mount Vernon, $15,000.
So move.
Second.
On the question? Okay, hearing none, roll call?
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson.
Aye. Any new business from anyone? We have a motion.
Oh, wait a minute. I did send, just so we know, we did send a letter, as per the charter, right? To the mayor and to the council on the reserves for delinquent taxes,
Mhm.
which is required as a part of the budget process.
And there's no money in the reserves to use to reduce any tax levy. So, thank you for your letter.
No
It
problem.
wasn't sunshine.
No.
It didn't brighten my day,
Yeah. Been the
but
same.
it got there on time. Look,
It was
at
on.
this point, you know, that's all you can ask for right now.
Dude.
That's all you can ask for. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion that we adjourn this meeting. So move.
Second.
Roll. call.
Controller Morton,
Aye.
Acting President Thompson,
Aye.
Mayor Patterson Howard.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned at 4:14 PM. Everyone have a good day. Oh, and just on the record, thank you, fire, police, PW, OEM, EMS, and recreation, for working over the past few days for storm preparation. Grateful, that we didn't need it, in any major way, but we were ready. We were ready and ready is all that you could ask to be. So, amen.